To keep yourself updated, subscribe to IndigoLearn and click the bell icon and download our app OneFin to start learning on the go.
Hi students, so today we have two All India rank holders from the November 20 attempt, both the cycle 1 and cycle 2. We have Ashish Goyal with us, who is AIR 6 in CA final and CA Inter AIR 5. And we have Shubham Keswani, AIR 8 in CA final and AIR 29 in CA Inter. Both of them are SR's graduates from Sri Ram College of Commerce, New Delhi. We thank you for taking out time out of your busy schedule, and let's get started. Firstly, heartiest congratulations to both Shubham and Ashish. So I'll take questions one by one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, first to Shubham. So Shubham, how did you feel when you get to know about the result, and how was the feeling when you got to know that you got an All India rank in CA final?
So yeah, it was good. It was nice. It was marvelous. But yeah, I think it can't be expressed because at that point of time you are just in a state of shock, or you can say surprise. That again you have basically I got a rank in my intermediate also. So at that time also it was a surprise and shocking aspect for me. And same was at the final level, because ultimately rank is something which is relative in concept, so you are not sure that how well you have performed in comparison to your peers and everyone who has given the exams. So as long as it is rewarding for you, it's always a great feeling to have that. Yeah.
Great. So coming to Ashish, how was your feeling when you got to know about your CA final results?
With me, I gave my attempt in January 21. So we were expecting at least the results to be announced by at least in April. So firstly, the ICI gave us a surprise that they will be announcing results about 10 days earlier than we were expecting.
Okay.
And then on the result day, generally the results are out by afternoon.
Right.
So like the whole day was spent like that. The results weren't announced. And then at 10 p.m., the results were out. So at that point of time, it was at back of my mind. But then the first goal was to see pass.
Okay.
And then I saw the result. I was shocked, like Shubham said. I did not expect, since he rightly said that it is a relative concept.
Correct.
I was not sure how I performed because this time the exams were little out of the box. So that was it. So it's been like a week since the results are out. So I'm still into that feeling.
Nice. I think you should live through that feeling and celebrate that moment. And also having ranks at both the levels, definitely proves that there is something in you guys which helped you to get this back-to-back rise. Now, going back 4-5 years when you started the journey, right? So my question again back to Shubham, right? Why did you think that you would do CA, or why did you choose to do CA?
So since it's not a formal interview of any corporate, I will give my candid answer. When I actually entered the college, that is SRCC, so there were mainly three kind of people who were there. If I talk about, firstly, who were going for their MBAs, who had the plan that they will go for MBA. Secondly,
Right.
CA, and third, there is a new breed coming in that is going on for UPSC. So I knew that CA is a beautiful course. It's an amazing course. My father is also a chartered accountant. So I had that in me that I want to be a chartered accountant. And after that, all the avenues will open for me. But again, risk is also there in CA, because ultimately you have to prove yourself. You have to prove your guts that you have gotten in yourself and you can make it. And yeah, at that point of time, I only thought about this, and this was the way I got it.
So you got a choice between 3 avenues and you chose to do a CA.
Yeah, I could have also thought for a startup, but again, you should have that finances in, and you should I think mainly getting for a startup, you also need to have that tech knowledge and other aspects, which I think we commerce students generally lack. So I felt that maybe after some time, if I get a professional degree, I can take those risky stances also, and because I'll be having a good backing up with myself. So yeah, I had that approach in mind.
Nice. Coming to Ashish, so what led you to CA? Why did you choose to do CA?
So unlike Shubham, with me, when I entered commerce, like in 11th and 12th, so for school students, there is only one glorious option after your 12 standards, and that is CA. Right. So that was the main reason I chose CA. And then obviously we heard about the opportunities and the respect a CA gets in the market. And the job of a chartered accountant is really relevant in the practical scenario.
Right.
A chartered accountant can advise you on each and everything of a business, and the financial opportunities that we get. So that was the main reason I chose CA.
Okay, so there are two different thoughts. One had gut feeling right from 11th and 12th to do a CA, and the other one, yes, there are different avenues, and then I will choose CA out of those three. To our audiences, SRCC is one of the more, it's the topmost commerce college in the country, and we as students way back even in 2005 we aspired to be part of SRCC, very high cutoffs, and the experience you get there. I got a chance to visit a couple of years back, and that is really amazing. Right, and you get a real right kind of audiences and crowd which can actually shape your career in different directions. Right, so thanks for the candid answers. Now, right from your SRCC college, we know it's not a college where you can just bunk the college and you can focus on your preparation. You have to be at the college, you have to be at various events, you have to organize events. Now, given this tight schedule, how did your preparation go on? Let's say at your foundation was okay, immediately after 12th you would have prepared, but coming to CA inter and CA final, how did you guys manage your college, then after college your articleship, your tuitions, and the study plan and the revision part of it? How did you do that? So if Shubham can answer, and then we'll come back to Ashish.
Yeah. So when I started my college, I had a chance to appear for because at my time it was not foundation, it was common proficiency test, what we call it CPT. And
Right.
that was something that everyone used to clear. And if you're not able to clear that, there was a notion in the market, you should not go for a chartered accountancy course.
Correct.
So I gave my CPT not just after 12th, I gave it in December, because I had also appeared for Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies. So the two kind of tests they take for their professional courses, I gave that and I cleared that. But ultimately, since I got into SRCC, I knew that now I am pursuing CA. So I gave my CPT, and that CPT that I gave, it was just you can say 1 week of full hard preparation just after my semester exams, and I cleared it with a score of 177. And then after CPT, most of my friends went in for the CA intermediate coachings and all. They started their preparation, but I didn't. Like I started, but eventually that, as you said, that SRCC is not about just academics. It's also about the extracurriculars and other aspects. So I landed up in the amazing Society of Dramatics. So wherein I pursued my passion for theater arts. And actually, it was a great learning experience working with teams, working with people who are from various parts of the country, dwelling with them, enjoying. So it was again an experience which I thought that I should not miss, being in such a college where people from different stratas of the country are coming in. So I pursued that passion, and ultimately the hours that I used to allot for that did not allow me to concentrate much on my studies, as except for the semester exams that they generally go on. So after that, I also, you can say, I participated in different societies, though they were not taking much of my time, but ultimately I was participating. And in my second year, I also supported few of my team members in their elections and all. Again, that was not something that I could have got an experience outside of SRCC. So I participated in that, and ultimately I had to defer my November attempt, which was due in my course. So if I talk about the thought process that was going on in my mind, was that I should not compromise on the experiences that are in there for me, just for clearing my CA intermediate exams, which I'm sure even if I clear them in my second year, I will not be able to start my articleship just before I complete my college. So I have actually got 3 years to complete that. And ultimately, through my semester exams, I was, you can say, accumulating that knowledge that was ultimately helping me in my intermediate preparation. I was side by side, I was taking on my coachings and preparing for intermediate. So yeah, managing these extracurriculars activities and holding certain positions of responsibilities in different societies of the college, managing that experience, also participating in few international programs, one with the US university, that was again a 15 days program, another great experience that the college offered me. So I did not even think that I should compromise on these aspects just because of my intermediate, and I ultimately gave my intermediate attempt in the, you can say, in the third year of my college. So in the November, I gave that attempt, though it was a risky stance because mostly Big Fours recruit from the college in January. So at that point, I was not having my result in hand. So 8th of January, EY came in to the placement for its articleship placements, and I was not having that result in my hand. I sat for the interviews and ultimately cleared it with a provisional acceptance. So
Okay.
they said that we are accepting you provisionally. So if you don't clear, we will take the offer back. I said,
Okay.
great. At least you have given me this opportunity. Now let's see what happens. So on 28th of January, I got my result. Just the next day of CA Confluence, where we all of us maybe have met that day. And
Right.
yeah, I got an All India rank 29. And I communicated to Eva that you have selected the right candidate, and I have cleared my CA intermediate with an All India rank. So you can say that in the college, what primary learning for me was that you should not compromise your experiences just because of one aim that you are having in mind. It should be there. You should focus on that. But ultimately, it's a good experience if you put your hands in all kinds of buckets, because that's the beauty of the college. Yeah.
Definitely. So coming to Ashish, how was your preparation for CA inter when you were at college, and then how did you crack your interviews for articleship?
Yeah, so I had cleared my CPT before college, like after 12th. So entering into college, so I had that in mind that I'll have to start my preparations for CA Inter. So a few months after joining, I started with my tuitions and all. So at that time, we had to physically go to the coaching centers. Unlike now, we have all the options of pen drives and classes from Google Drive. So we went to the classes after college, like in evenings. And I would like to advise to all the future aspirants, because I do get some queries from the ones who have cleared their 12th standard, that should I join regular college, or should I pursue BCom with correspondence. So I would like to advise all of them that see, we both have done, we both are SRCC students. Like we have gotten into regular college and did justice to the college, and side by side we prepared for our CA, and that too we got ranks. So it is possible. Just that you have to burn it all. You have to be serious about your aims, and then everything is possible. So like we managed both studies and college side by side, societies in college. And one thing also helped us that the subjects we studied in BCom were almost similar to the ones we study in CA.
Exactly.
So that also made our paths easier.
Right.
But having said that, we enjoyed our journey in colleges, and then I secured all India fifth rank in the inters, and then the interviews were nice, and so we got into EY. I got into EY tax, and then it was a great journey, but then you have to burn it.
Yeah. So again, to our audiences, to give a perspective, you really have a very tight schedule in SRCC. It's not like any ordinary college. You go at 8 o'clock and you're out by 12 o'clock. It's a full day college, and then you have lots of activities. Students are given a lot of responsibilities. And even with those responsibilities, both Ashish and Shubham, they cleared their CA inter with all India ranks. And their advice is, yes, it's possible. You should not miss the experiences at college, right? We also regret slightly because we didn't attend college much because we wanted to start articleship personally at that point of time. But yes, if you're attending regular colleges, it would be really helpful in your future corporate career as well. So both of you, hats off to you. With such tight schedule in your degree colleges, you could prepare well and you could write the exams, get ranks, and they had a choice. They could have written their CA inter exams in second year, and then they would have maybe thought of doing some kind of dummies, but very clear in their thoughts, completing their graduation, delaying their CA degree by 1 year, I would say 1.5 year to be frank, starting articleship with Big Four. So now comes the next question, where a lot of students have doubt how different it would be to have an articleship from a Big Four than a medium-sized firm. And yes, many students do come up asking, do we do dummy articleship? We say you are not supposed and you should not be doing dummy articles because that will not help you in your career. So coming to Ashish, how was your experience in EY, and how did you manage such tight schedules at EY as well with your final preparation and then ended up getting a rank?
So coming to the question that most people have, that should we do dummy articleship? I would say that just for preparing, for CA finals, you would miss out on many things. So even if you get good marks, and even if you get a rank in CA finals, but since you have done dummy articleship, there would be no use of a rank, because you won't know the practical aspects of your studies. So
Exactly.
articleship is very necessary. And then between mediocre and Big Four, So I chose Big Four because I wanted a brand name with me. So the opportunities you get in Big Four, you get to work with huge corporate clients. The system that is followed in these firms, the quality matters in these firms. The quality of your work matters in these firms. So you get an overall development of your personality. So that is very important in your initial years of your career. So, and with respect to managing with EY, so yeah, when I started Articleship, after a few months, I joined tuitions and all. But then when I reflect back, what I realize is that the last 5 to 6 months you get for your preparation, the
Right.
study leave that you get, that is the most important of all.
Okay.
Although I had completed most of my coachings, but the coachings that I did, like 1 to 2 years ago, that was all gone out of my mind. I literally had to start afresh.
Okay.
So what I would suggest is that don't miss out on your articleship experience or work experience, because in the long run you have to work. So if you won't know the practical scenarios of your work, there would be a lesser use of your studies. So secondly, nowadays there are many avenues are open, like for you don't have to physically attend the coaching classes. So nowadays the management is even easier. After you can always watch the pen drive classes in the morning before office hours or after office hours. That is doable.
So, so coming back to Shubham, so how was your thing? How did you manage your articleship and preparation time?
So yeah, before coming to that, starting again with your question, medium size versus big four. I will say if you are going for practical learning, both are good. If you are not getting big four, getting a mid size, go for it. But where big four actually, you can say, comes into place is three aspects which I feel which are the most rewarding in terms of big four. First of all, is the brand name, as Ashish quoted. You are carrying a brand of Big Four. It's a global brand. Whether I talk about EY, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, all are global brands. So you get that acceptance after you complete your CA from the corporates that are there to recruit. Again, another aspect that comes here is the leaves. As Ashish said, that so ultimately the structured process of Big Four, the HR policies are very, you can say, formulated well, so that there are no, you can say, barriers to the leaves that you get in the end, and you also get compensatory leaves for the extra hours that you put in.
Okay.
So you are getting rewarded for the extra work that you're doing for the firm. So I think that also helps. And again, one more aspect that I would like to touch upon, though it may sound very small to every other people, but it is important, is the stipend. We many times complain that the ICI is not increasing its stipend, but many firms are paying good amount to the articles, wherein they are getting good remuneration, but at also the same time good learning. So I will say that in terms of stipend, also Big Four is rewarding you well. So in terms of learning, again, I don't think there is much difference between the mid-sized firms and Big Four. If I talk about big, large corporates, even the listed corporates, they are providing their, you can say, assignments to mid-sized firms and not to Big Four. So there
Exactly.
also the learning comes into place. So yes, I have covered this all, and I think this should be considered when you are going for your articleship. Not talking about myself, as I think Ashish has more or less covered all the points, that from the day one you need to start your planning. You should be on your front foot from the day one. You should know that this is the time my leaves would be starting, and before that I should be through with all the subjects, and ultimately that should be a revision phase, not a phase when you are taking the subject for the first time. So that time it may create a stressful situation for you. So you need to plan it out. Just make sure you maintain an adequate balance between work and studies, and I think everything will fall in place.
So I think thanks for that candid thing. You know, a lot of people, yes, stipend related issues are highlighted across platforms, and Shubham was candid enough to tell that yes, the big fours do pay really well. You have to work more, but yes, compensating the work, you also get the pay, and the last 5 or 6 months of leave that you get, that would really help you in the preparation. Now, coming to your preparation, like both of you mentioned, you went for tuitions. Even after getting ranks at CA Inter, you thought tuitions were necessary. So, did you go for all the subjects, or did you pick and choose? Yes, some subjects on own and some subjects for tuition. Shubham, if you can answer, and then
Yeah, I can begin. So when I went for coaching, I knew that this is one subject where I will need some practical guidance, and it can't be done just by going through the book, or ultimately the ICI material is not that intact in place that I can just rely on that. So
right.
if I talk about coaching, I went for the coaching for financial reporting. I went for the coaching for direct taxation. Again, these two subjects are too huge to handle by yourself. And
Right.
ultimately, if I talk about these subjects, a lot of interrelation and retaining is involved. You need to have a good practical understanding how the concepts are actually applied.
Right.
So, and with that, even the articleship helps. Again, I would like to say that when you are actually studying the text of Indias and when you are practically applying on your client, you get a good gist of it, that how is it actually working in the practical life, and your retention becomes better. So
Right.
that is one aspect that I would like to quote. Now, talking about the other subjects, in SFM, I got videos of one of the popular teachers. So I studied from that. I made my notes, and ultimately the reliance was on ICI study material only. And for
Okay.
other subjects, I totally relied on ICI materials. Yeah.
And it was self-study apart from these three
Yeah,
subjects.
only self study. For GST, IDT, also I did self study. So though many of my friends went for coachings and all, but I knew that the you can say essence of this subject is same as the service tax that I have studied in my CA intermediate. It's just that the manner in which it has been framed is different, and taking my understanding from there, and also the ICI material is beautiful. It has been amazingly well written with proper sections, provisions, their interpretation, then questions are also there, and also you get summary notes for the last 1.5 day revision. So
Correct.
again, I think it's amazingly crafted, and you can go for self study in such kind of subject also.
Great. Great. Shubham, the other thing what a lot of students keep on asking is the number of hours you need to put on for your preparation. So both, let's say at your inter level, you mentioned that you had colleges and all, and when you come to final level, you had articleship. So how many hours had do you think you put on an average during your preparation time, and during your leaves, how many hours did you study a day? I know number of hours may not matter much, but still a ballpark number to the students would help them
Yeah.
understand.
So in my CA intermediate, my you can say my studies were not that structured, and I feel that may be an issue, that that's why I landed up with a double-digit rank, because it was just like that. I was taking on knowledge. I was taking an understanding from the subjects that I have covered in my semester exams in college,
Right.
and that was all getting you. You can say that synergy was developing for that 2 years that I was putting in my efforts. So I can't say that efforts were only towards my CA intermediate exams or my BCom honors exams, but ultimately, since the subjects were replicating, it was going on for both.
Right.
So talking about the number of hours that I had put in, it would be that for the last 3-4 months, just before the attempt that I was doing. So it could be anywhere around 10 to 12 hours, but it was
Okay.
consistent.
Right.
And again, in my CA final, I had this approach that for the last 5 months that I have putting in, I need to put on a consistent effort, because I had planned out that if I don't complete my first time reading within 90 days, my second revision would suffer, and ultimately my third revision can also suffer. So I
Exactly.
knew the importance of putting on those hours consistently. And again, as you talked about, that number of hours don't matter. Ultimately, it's the quality of learning that you are putting in, the focus with which you are going through the subject, and that's what actually matters at the end of the day. So again, I would say that it may vary from person to person. Some people are very brainy, they may grasp the concepts very early as compared to others, but I felt that that was not the case with me. I would be very frank here, because I could see many of my friends grasping concepts very faster than me. So I knew
Okay.
that I had to put my efforts to get to that level, to match up that level, and I think ultimately that only helped me in sailing through. So I never attempted for a rank, I just attempted for good quality and consistency, and ultimately it proved to be beneficial for me. Yeah.
Great. So coming to Ashish, the same question. Like students have this doubt as to how many number of hours should they study. So how did you plan your days, and towards your study leaves with your articleship? How many hours on an average did you study?
Yeah, during the articleship, I studied whenever I used to get time. Like it was all dependent on, my office, my work pressure in office, and other things. So the coachings were going simultaneously along with articleship. So coming to the preparation and study leaves, I also had the same query in mind when I started my preparation in the study leaves, that how much hours should I put in, and
Right.
how much hours is okay. But
Hmm.
then what I realized was that it was different for everybody. My friends used to put in like 12 to 14 hours a day, but
Right.
when I introspected, I was not able to put so much of hours. But then I used to go into self thought, that what am I doing? Am I doing it right?
Hmm.
So I would like to say that you should be honest with yourself. You should put 100%, and you should have that in mind, that Don't waste your time on other things. Do as much as you can, but don't treat experience of others as benchmark for you,
Okay,
because it all depends on individual to individual basis.
right. So I think based on both of these feedback to the students, having your own schedule, having your own customized schedule would be more beneficial than following somebody else's schedule, which may or may not fit you, right? So now
True.
coming back to your preparation, we know we were going through a very tough time in 2020, given the COVID situation and all. And surprisingly, for both of you, that was the time when you would be, when you had maybe got your study leaves near about that time. So how was it? How was the experience? If you can quickly summarize, both of you, the experience of going through COVID. How did you handle the stress of examination plus COVID? And then how could you manage to keep yourself, calm in those tough times?
Actually, what happened was I never felt that COVID was there. With the grace of Almighty, I like in my family, no one got that case, and neither the other persons who were around me in the vicinity in which I was living. So ultimately, you can say I never got that feeling that something brutal is happening in the world, and the humanity is going through such tough phase.
Right.
But again, I would say that it's just the blessings of the Almighty that this did not happen to me, and ultimately I did not suffer because of that. So one thing that wanted to make it clear here, but again, there were cases which were going on. Some of my near and dear ones got infected because of that. But again, some of my family members were affected because of that emotionally or maybe otherwise also. But for me, I was so dwelled up in my studies that I did not even think of what else was going on in the society or anything else. I was focused that this is the time that I have to put in for my studies. I used to talk with my friends. We used to gel up well. And neither of us were concerned about what was going on.
Okay.
So we knew that something is there, but thinking about that too much, or you can say just putting your focus out there, will do no benefit for
Right.
anybody.
Right.
Agreed. So that was the most logical thing that we could think at that time. And ultimately, I think this was one attempt where there were the least distractions as compared to the other attempts, because
Okay.
people were not going to pubs, restaurants, or having fun. So the Insta feed was not affecting that much that it could have affected had it been a regular attempt wherein you can see your friends going on for trips and having fun, and you are there in your room studying
Right.
audit and law. So
Right.
again, I would say that acted in our favor. Again, the leaves that were given to us, the opportunities that were there in for us by ICI, that was also amazing. Because when people say that you have to prepare within 5 months, 5 months I found to be a little less for the two groups preparation.
Right.
So ICI gave 20 days more just for making its own preparations for the exam centers, but ultimately it also gave us time for our own preparation so that we could fill in those gaps which were making us a little underconfident while approaching the exams, or give few more mocks.
Okay.
So ultimately, I felt that this attempt was something which was not there earlier, and it actually acted as in our own benefit. Yeah.
Okay. So Ashish, how did you manage these tough times that we all were going through?
Yeah, initially, as Shubham said, we knew that coronavirus is there, but we were all okay with it. So, but just that we didn't used to go outside, and we took all the care and precautions that we could. But then, so my attendance was in November.
Right.
So near my attempt, some family members got affected by coronavirus, were
Sorry.
affected. But then all was okay in the end. We managed through it, and yeah.
Great.
So despite going through a tough time with the near and dear ones getting affected with for COVID and still managing to come out, fight the battle and getting a rank, I think that's commendable. Once again, hats off to your efforts in this direction, right? So that was one. Now, second thing, a lot of time what happens is we get stressed out during our preparation time. Sometimes things don't happen the way we want. So how did you manage to, burst that stress, or what would you do to reduce the stress from your preparation? Ashish, if you
So
can answer. Yeah.
yeah, I would like to say that, to the ones who will be preparing in the future, don't just lock up yourself in your room and say that I have to stay here for 5 to 6 months and I have to do nothing else. that will create undue pressure on you. So don't take undue pressure, don't take unnecessary pressure, and take it as it goes. It is all normal, just that you have to make some efforts and you have to be focused.
Okay.
So don't be so relaxed that you don't put 100%, put 100%. So I would say that CA exams are a part of your life and not just your life. So there is more to see in your life. So don't be pressurized, just be focused and stay calm and composed. So I used to take out some time on a daily basis. I used to listen to some music, play some chess on the phone, and the family support is very necessary. The support from the family members and the friends is very important. So whenever I used to feel a bit of lonely, so I used to go to my family members. I used to talk to friends, and that made my journey a lot easier.
So how about you, Shubham?
So yeah, again, I would like to say that I had been very lucky on this front, that I have got good family members and good friends with who actually never let me feel that I am doing something different and I am doing something which was very tough. They were always supportive that no matter what the result is, we are there with you. So I think that really, you can say, gives you that positivity to work hard and give your best. And if I give the instances, so yeah, every evening mostly, like there would not be even a single day when I was not in touch with my two of my friends who were also giving the CA final attempt with me. So we had actually created a WhatsApp group called CA final trivia. So we were connected 24/7 except the sleeping time, and we used to put in some facts and figures there which I personally thought would not be touched upon by them. If they are going through the materials, they might miss it. So that actually helped us not only in staying in touch with our studies but also staying in touch with each other. And
Right.
also we used to daily have evening calls wherein you used to take an update of each other, like what you are studying, what is going on in your preparation and all. So that also used to motivate us, is that the other person is not taking it lightly, so you should also not do that. So in case there are bad days when you are you can say you are preparing, so there are days when you are not able to get that output that you expect from yourself. Especially it happens in subjects like audit.
Right.
So you feel that it will be completed within a period of 13 to 15 days, and it is taking your 18 days, and in some chapters you are putting on 4 to 5 hours. Still after that you feel that you have not got anything that you can replicate on the paper.
Correct.
So I used to discuss that with them, and they used to also come out with similar theories. So it used to feel like that I am not alone in this fight. Everyone is facing that. One more trivia: when you are studying audit, generally it happens with me that I used to have some hair fall. So now I used to connect with my friend and I asked him, like, do you feel that in audit you also face such kind of situation? And he was like, yes, I also get scolding from my mom that, so why are there so many hair strands near your study table? So
Okay.
this is also something that I know it is very small, but it affects you. Like when you are giving your CA final attempt, this is not something you want to lose out of on. So
Correct.
yeah, we used to have these candid chats, and these chats you cannot have with your manager or any other person. You can have only them with your friends.
Right.
So I think these used to help me a lot. And at the end of the day, I used to always end my day with a dinner. And after dinner, I used to play cards with my father and my sister.
That's nice.
Okay. So that was also something that really helped me in, you can say, freeing up my stress and pressure that was there. So yeah, that all helped a lot. And in evening, I used to take walks on my, you can say, terrace. Uh, and during that terrace walks also, I used to have a call with my friend, and we even used to revise the penalties of law, going through the whole audit chapter heading by heading. He's speaking one point, I'm speaking another, and when any of us is not able to recollect the next point, we are giving hints that this is the point that is related to, just get to it, we are wasting our time. So yeah, that was something that I think really helped me a lot in creating that synergy, and ultimately it proved successful.
So I think having good set of friends around you and also support from the family was very, very important in both of your cases. And the buddy check that Shubham was mentioning, having a checkup with your friends and all, that would definitely be helpful, because I think only friends who are doing CA along with you can understand the pain that you're going through at that point of time. Rest all might say that, yes, we understand your pain, but the ones who are going through the journey would be the ones who would be supporting you. So just a yes no question kind of a thing. Were both of you off social media like Instagram, Facebook and Twitter during your CA preparation the last 5-6 months?
No, I reduced it.
You reduced. And how about you, Ashish?
Yeah, I also was not off, like not 100% off. Yeah, but I was there on YouTube. I used to watch videos and all. But
Right.
with respect to spending time on Instagram and WhatsApp, it was lesser as compared to regular days.
So I think it's not necessary to shut yourself off from the world. You can just moderate your time on the social media platforms, and I think that should be. So as we move towards last leg of the interview, to each one of you, what is your one must do and one must not do advice to the CA students who are preparing for their upcoming attempts? Want to take some
Ashish
time?
can start. I can take time to think.
One must do and one must not do.
Yeah, one must do thing. I would like to advise all of the students that please don't ignore ICI material. For some subjects like audit and cost, stick to the material. And as I know, Shubham did all his preparation directly from the material, ICI material. But I refer to the material provided by the coaching institutes. But then I made sure that I match each and everything with the material, because there are some things that are not there in the materials provided by the coaching institutes, or
Right.
some things that are different. So,
Okay.
one of my friends, she showed me her certified copy of audit. So she said that she wrote everything as per her coaching material. But then she was surprised and she was shocked. Then that why ICI doesn't give marks.
Right.
The notion that ICI doesn't give marks even if the answer is correct. But then I showed her the ICI material, and the points were totally different from the material of the coaching material. So whenever someone asks me about the materials to be referred for the preparation, I always say stick with the ICI material.
Right.
For the past materials, they were boring and stuff. But recently, ICI has started to make them engaging. There are diagrams and figures and summary charts everywhere. So don't miss out on the material. And also, I would like to add that ICI has some reference material. The revision capsules, it has uploaded, and the revision capsules are very nice for some of the subjects. I referred it for costing. So
Okay.
yeah, it was very great. So you should choose your material wisely.
Great. So yeah, Shubham, your thought on these?
So yeah, must do, I will say that it is very broad. So you have to take it like that only. You have to plan and strategize effectively. As Ashish quoted, you should have the right materials on which you are putting your efforts on. So even if you are working hard, you should know that whatever you are doing is leading you in the right direction ahead. So you should know that what you are doing is something which will lead to the results and will bear fruits in future. So giving by an example, as Ashish quoted, you should study from where ICI also prepares its suggested answers, and ultimately that's ICI material only. So
Right.
even if you are making shortcuts, if you are going by mnemonics or notes, adopt those shortcuts or notes which are actually borrowed from ICI material, and you are able to you can say put on a similar answer on your answer sheet so that you actually get good marks.
Right.
Now, one thing that you should not do is that don't follow anything or any approach blindly. Get an understanding why that approach or thing was followed earlier and whether it will be leading to that result. Now, by that, what do I mean? If my friend is going coaching for a particular subject, that doesn't mean that I also have to go for that. If my friend is following a particular book, that doesn't mean that I also need to do that. If my friend is, you can say, studying two subjects at a time, I am also required to do that. Just understand what's the purpose of doing that thing. If that is fruitful, if that's adding value to him or her, and then you may even think of doing that. But ultimately, don't follow the herd. Take your stand and stand with it, because ultimately you should know the purpose why you are doing something. So yeah, that's why I want to quote here.
I think very, very nicely put. One is the emphasis on the institute's material, then second one on planning and strategizing, and thirdly, not following anyone or any coaching, anything for that matter, blindly, unless that helps you in some aspect. Right. So coming to mock test papers, did you guys write mock tests before your exams, and how was it helpful?
I actually felt that mock tests are something which actually helps you in clearing the CA final exams. And that's again, I am taking it from here. Like, if people are saying give mock test, doesn't mean that you have to give them. You should understand why you need to give a mock test. So mock test actually gives you a set of questions from different chapters at one place. And then when you move from one question to another question, that question is not from the same chapter. So you have to shift your mind from one chapter to another chapter. That doesn't happen in a practical book from which you are doing your questions. Right. So that mind transition game improves when you give your mock test. Your confidence improves. You get to understand that whether actually whatever you have learned, that you are feeling you have learned, has it actualized. So that happens with your mock test. And it was not an issue with me, but one of my friends had that issue that they were not able to complete their exams in 3 hour period. Even they were not able to attempt those questions which were directly from study material in those 3 hours. So
Right.
it actually helped them in completing the paper on time. By again, I said that planning and strategizing is important. So when you give mocks, you are able to strategize those 3 hours, 15 minutes in that exam situation. And again, when you are giving mocks, it should not be that a person has adopted a particular test series, so you should go for that. I went for ICI mock test.
Okay.
Again, why did I go for that? Basically, ICI mock test was something that was available readily for me. I was not required to pay anything to any person.
Right.
I could go give those tests in my own convenience. And two of my friends also, I asked them that we should give ICI mocks, but because ultimately ICI has improved upon its quality of mock test. And since we are giving an exam of ICI only, it's best to give the mock of ICI only.
Right.
And one thing that many people would be saying that how would I check that paper? So I knew that ICI has given its question paper. I have its suggested answer. I have number of marks that have been allotted to it. So we three of us used to sit together, allocate the you can say marks to each type of aspect of answer, and we used to evaluate it. Now, ultimately, what I'm getting is a proper evaluation of my answers by a third person, and also I'm getting to know how am I standing compared to others, because
Right.
we all of us are writing the same paper.
Correct.
So even if it's easy, who is scoring the best among in this easy paper, and if it's difficult, how am I able to tackle it well as compared to others?
Right.
So yeah, that helps a lot.
Nice. So coming to you, Ashish, how was mock test? Did you take up mock test papers and how did that help you?
Yeah, as Shubham rightly said, mock test is important, really adds value to your preparation. But personally, I could not get time to take mock tests because I was lagging behind in my preparation. So yeah, personally, I did not take any mock tests. But yeah, if you have time, and you should give mock tests. And Shubham has brilliantly summarized everything. You know, the positives of giving a mock test.
Right. Okay. So thanks for these answers. So last question, what are your future plans? If you can just broadly describe them, need not be specifics.
So yeah, since my articleship is in audit and I have actually handled variety of assignments of different clients, so I am looking forward to move to that side of the role wherein I am on the decision making side and not just checking the, you can say, consulting part or compliance part of the scenario. So yeah, I am looking forward to move to the corporate world on a finance strategizing side and other aspects of it. And after that, maybe let's see what life pours in, and accordingly, being dynamic individuals, professionals, we can take up any challenge that comes in future. Yeah.
Yeah. Ashish?
Yeah, I'm currently in the tax team of EY. So yeah, I'm also on the consulting side, and I am also looking for experience on the other side of the table. So I'm in for for various profiles. Let's see what life holds for me.
One more thing I would like to add here is that not only I want to be a job person, but also, as I quoted earlier, I believe in following my passion. So it has been dramatics, and I feel that guiding the students with your learnings is again a good thing that you should do in your life, because learnings have no use unless and until you share them with others, as IndigoLearn is doing. So I have also started my YouTube channel. So currently there are 5,000 subscribers who are being
Nice.
benefited from my learnings. So I feel that doing that something, it actually motivates me at the end of the day that I am actually able to benefit even a single person that works. Yeah.
That's nice. Any plans to do further education, any other courses?
Yes, I plan. That's also one part on my bucket list. That after taking this corporate experience, basically bookish knowledge everyone can gain, but having a good practical understanding how the industry works is also required for you to be a good professor or a good teacher. So I am looking forward to that, and let's see how the things unfold.
Ashish, on your side?
Yeah, I'm also pursuing CFA simultaneously. So
Nice.
I'm done with 2 levels of CFA. I'll be giving CFA level 3 later this year.
So all the best for your future attempts of CFA.
Yeah,
So that's it from us. Thanks a lot, guys, for taking time out of your busy schedule. Thanks, Shubham, and thanks, Ashish. We wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. Thank you.